Internet, Donna here. I wanted to talk to you today about a problem that a lot of new denture wearers have, and that is eating with your dentures in. I actually put up a poll in one of the Facebook groups asking about the troubles that folks were experiencing with their dentures, and the number one top thing that folks said they were having trouble with was eating hard food, or just eating in general, because squishy food was an option too. So eating. Oh, are we coming up to say hi? Hi, buddy. Mwah. I love you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I love you. Okay, looks like Milo's gonna not help with the video anymore. Bless him. Okay, so the I completely lost my place now because I was distracted by cuteness. Eating with dentures. Now, eating with dentures, without dentures, whatever, there are 3 things that you have to focus on when you eat, and that is biting, chewing, and swallowing. So first things first, let's talk about biting. Your bite with your dentures should be straight up and down. Now, with your mouth closed, okay, your bottom dentures rest just a little bit behind your top ones. Okay, let me put this a little bit closer. I don't need my keyboard. If I keep looking off camera in that direction, it's because that's where my notes are, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything, and that's why I use notes. It's important to me for most of my videos, this one especially, that I don't miss anything. Missing information is the same thing as misinformation, and the last thing I want to do is spread misinformation. When we bite, okay, at a resting position, your lower denture should rest just behind your upper. See how this is further back just a little bit? Okay, there's actually, like, see how long my fingernail is? That's how much space I have right there. So our bite isn't going to be like this, where your teeth touch each other like this. It's going to be a natural position. So the bite motion is going to be straight up and down, like this, because that's how you're going to slice through something like an apple or a piece of meat, or, well, anything really, a sandwich. When you keep your mouth in a normal position, that's how it needs to be. Like, you'll want to do this because you feel like you can probably slice better if you use the teeth together like a pair of scissors. But even a pair of scissors doesn't operate that way. A pair of scissors has 2 blades, and they don't come down and just meet and stop. They move past each other and slice through a piece of paper or fabric or whatever it is that you're cutting. In that way, they don't just meet like this, like their handles do. See? That's not going to get you anywhere. You need this slicing action with your lower behind your upper. Now, this might be counterintuitive, based on how you were eating before you got your dentures, and that's fine, because eating with dentures is not like eating without dentures. Eating with your aftermarket teeth is not going to be like eating with your natural teeth, and eating with your aftermarket teeth is most definitely not going to be like eating with jacked up natural teeth. So whatever your teeth situation was before you got your dentures, throw all of that out the window, because you're going to learn a new way. Okay, and it's fairly easy to get some practice. Practice with a sandwich. Get a nice soft, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or peanut butter and honey sandwich, or a bologna and cheese sandwich, and practice biting with that sandwich. And you'll get really good at biting if you do it that way. You can move on to soft batch cookies, or a slice of watermelon, or, which, I mean, you could basically break off, but for the sake of practicing your bite, please bite it. Now, what I've got here are pistachios, and I don't know if I can bite through a pistachio. I know I can chew one up. I know I can grind one up, but I don't know if I can bite through one. So this is probably getting ready to be a really shitty example. But see, I've got this bag of pistachios. And Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for eating your pistachios. My father had bought himself a bag of pistachios the last time that he came to visit me. They were still in my kitchen, and I thought, oh, I could use those for a video. So here we go. Okay, we have a pistachio nut, right? So let me shell it and get the little stupid husk off of it. And it wants to break in half, you know, like a peanut does. Like a peanut's got two halves to it. So I'm going to go ahead and break it in half. Okay, see, here's what we have. We have half of a pistachio nut. Okay, and to bite this, God help me, because this is a harder food. It's not like this. See, I got a gap right here. It's like this. I can't do it with a pistachio because it's a pistachio. I have to put it back here. And kind of grind it up. See there? So that was a bad example for biting. But again, just practice and eventually you get the hang of it and it becomes second nature to you and then you don't have to think so hard when you're eating. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is chewing. Okay? Now, with chewing, you're going to roll your jaw, like you want to chew up and down like this and grind through things with your teeth straight up and down. That's fairly normal, but that's not how we want to do it with our dentures. You want to roll your jaw around in a small circle as you bite down like this. Because you don't have to smash through the food with your teeth until your teeth touch. You basically just have to get little bits off of the chunk that you're trying to chew up until it's a little bit that's left itself. And that's really all it is to chewing. Now, chewing on both sides when you're eating softer foods, even some harder foods, but chewing on both sides when you're eating softer foods is going to help you to chew them up better because you are evenly dispersing the pressure. Especially if you have open extraction sites, the pressure is going to get distributed evenly and it's not going to hurt on one side or the other. Milo, stop. I'm about to kill me some cats. Now with harder foods, you want to chew at the back of your jaw. Number one, you're closer to the joint, so there's less pressure that you have to leverage, like to chew the thing here, you have to push harder. If you chew it back here, you get all of the pressure that you can out of the least amount of movement and the least amount of force. So physics is at play there. There's also more stability with your dentures in the back of your jaw. So if you are biting down on the back, you are less likely to flip your lower out of your mouth while you try to bite or try to chew. Now, once you toughen up those areas where you chew, it doesn't matter how tough something is, you'll be able to chew it. And I've gone ahead and peeled a couple of pistachio nuts here, just so that I can show you. Pistachio is pretty hard. I've got 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3. I actually have 4 if you count this broken one. Okay, so I have 4 pistachio nuts here. I'm going to work on one first. Okay, and I'm going to put it at the back of my jaw. And I'm going to chew in that little rounded motion that I talked about. I hate to be chewing with my mouth open and showing you my food, but I don't know any other way to demonstrate this. I don't have fancy animations or a model that I can chew up a piece of food with. Like, look, this is your jaw. I don't have any of those things, so this is what I got to work with. And I'll go ahead and put this one on the other side, just so I can show you that it can be done from either side. But you see, basically, it's that little rounded motion with your jaw and not biting straight through until your teeth touch. You kind of grind a little bit off as your jaw works its way around. Grind a little more off, grind a little more off until you're left with a little piece, and then it matches everything else that's in there anyway, and you're good to go. So let's do that one more time. Oh, this one's really hard. See, and mind you, I had my extractions on the 7th, and today is the 25th of March. I had my extractions on the 7th of March, and today is the 25th of March. So I'm not 7 months out, I'm not 4 months out, I'm not even 1 month out, and I can eat pistachio nuts. I can also crunch up pieces of ice. I can eat crunchy cereal, chips, Cheetos. I've not been able to crunch through hard candy yet without, sucking it down until it's thinner. And I've been practicing with the little mini Starlight Mints. But, oh, lost my light. Come back, light. But yeah, one more time on the other side. I know that's gross to show it to you every time, but I just want to show you it's chewed up and I'm getting ready to swallow it. Speaking of, the third thing I want to cover, swallowing. Okay, only swallow as much as you're comfortable with swallowing. I know that choking is a big, big fear for first-time denture wearers, for new denture wearers, for any denture wearers really. Swallowing and choking when you swallow is a big fear. Swallowing. Only swallow as much as you are comfortable with swallowing at one time. It's not necessary if you have a mouth full of food, for some reason, to swallow all of that in one go. Little bits at a time will reduce your risk of choking. Also, taking smaller bites will effectively aid in swallowing. So, if you cut your food into smaller pieces, like think about the size of a piece of food that you would give to a toddler. If you cut your food into pieces that small, put one on each side if it's a softer food, and chew it up that way. You can swallow one bit at one time and the other bit at the other time. So you've got two little bits of food that adds up to, a grown-up size bite, and have much less risk of choking when you do it that way. Keep a drink nearby. I always have a glass of water with every meal I have. I keep a glass of water next to me at all times, just in case of snacking. Like right now, excuse me, I'm feeling a need to wash down the little bits of pistachio that are left in my mouth. So I'm going to give a quick swish there and get the rest of that out of my mouth because it's uncomfortable. So, if you have a drink nearby and you're having a little bit of trouble swallowing a bite down, swallow it down like you would a pill. Get that little bite ready somewhere near the middle of your mouth there, and in the same way that you would with a pill, you'd be surprised how well that works. Don't overthink swallowing. There are times when I'll be chewing a piece of food, and then finally I get to where it's probably, probably chewed up well enough for me to swallow it, and then I think about it, and I get it into position, and then I start to swallow it, and then change my mind. Then I start to swallow it, and then I change my mind. Like, how am I going to go about swallowing this? And I end up grabbing the drink and washing it down. And that's fine, but just don't overthink it. If you overthink it and then you go ahead anyway, you're going to increase your risk of choking. And, get into the mindset with that drink that you're taking medicine before you ever swallow anything. This is medicine. I'm feeding the machine. This is medicine. I got to swallow this the same way that I swallow a pill. If you can swallow pills without water, you can swallow food without water. Okay, if you need to swallow water with your food, you need to swallow water with your food. Whatever gets it down into your stomach instead of into your lungs, that's a good thing. So if it's water, if it's coffee, Milo, stop. If it's water, if it's coffee, if it's a soda, whatever it is that you need to wash that food down, keep it nearby. Just do yourself that favor and don't overthink the swallowing. So, what about you? Do you have trouble with eating hard food or soft food or any food at all with your new dentures? And if you've not gotten dentures yet, but you're considering it, what food do you think that you'll have trouble with right off the bat? I'd love to hear about it. Go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd love to read and respond to all of your comments. I will be back with another video for you guys tomorrow. Until then, keep being good to each other, keep smiling, and keep being awesome.